My name is Precious, and this is the truth I've been hiding for years. I wasn't always this broken. I used to believe in love, the kind that made you feel like the world stopped spinning when he smiled at you. That was Daniel. He was my first love, my best friend, my everything. We were young, wild, and foolish. We promised forever, even when we had nothing. He would hold me close and whisper, "You're the one I'll marry." And I believed him. But life doesn't always follow the promises of youth. He lost his job. I got a scholarship to study. We drifted. Then one day, we fought, ugly words, tears, pride, and that was it. He left, and I felt like my heart was buried alive. For months I couldn't breathe without remembering him. But life moved on. People said I'd heal, that I'd meet someone better. And then, I met Michael. He was kind. Gentle. The kind of man every woman prays for. He loved me in ways Daniel never could, patient, pure, stable. When he proposed, everyone rejoiced. I told myself God was giving me another chance at happiness. But what no one knew was that while I said yes to Michael, a part of me still whispered Daniel's name in the dark. Marriage. It felt beautiful at first, the prayers, the laughter, the smell of his perfume after morning devotion. Michael would kiss my forehead and say, "I thank God for you." He made it easy to love him, but I didn't. Not completely. Sometimes, at night, when he'd fall asleep beside me, I'd stare at him and wonder, why do I still miss another man? I prayed, fasted, cried. But Daniel haunted me. Then one afternoon, I got a message. "Hi, Precious. It's been a long time." It was Daniel. My hands shook. My heart raced. I told myself not to reply, but I did. We started talking again, just harmless chats at first. Then long phone calls. Then, let's just meet once. I told myself I'd only see him to close that chapter. But the moment I saw him, every memory came rushing back. He looked at me and said, "You're still the most beautiful woman I've ever known." And I melted. That night, I betrayed my vows. I came home, washed my hands, sat in the shower for hours, and cried till I couldn't feel my face. But guilt doesn't erase sin, it only hides it until the next opportunity. And soon, there was a next time. It became an addiction. Every time Michael traveled for work, I found my way to Daniel. We told ourselves it was love, but deep down, we both knew it was weakness. One evening, after being with him, I looked at my reflection and didn't recognize the woman in the mirror. "Who are you, Precious?" I whispered. Days later, I missed my period. I thought it was stress, but when I took a test, 2 red lines appeared. I froze. Pregnant. Michael was overjoyed. He lifted me up, laughing, saying, "God has blessed us. Finally, we'll be parents." I smiled through tears. But they weren't tears of joy, they were tears of fear. Because deep inside, I didn't know whose child I was carrying. Daniel or Michael. I wanted to tell the truth. I wanted to confess. But every time I opened my mouth, guilt would choke me. So I decided to bury the truth. No one will ever know, I told myself. But secrets don't stay buried forever. Months passed, and our baby girl was born, small, beautiful, perfect. We named her Michelle. Michael cried when he held her. I cried too, but for different reasons. For a while, life seemed peaceful again. I thought maybe God had forgiven me. But at 6 months, Michelle began to fall sick. Constantly. Hospital visits became routine. Injections. Drips. Blood transfusions. Then the doctor called us into his office one morning. He looked serious, like someone about to drop a bomb. "Mr. and Mrs. Michael, your daughter has sickle cell anemia." Michael frowned. "That can't be possible. I'm AA." The doctor nodded. "And your wife?" Michael turned to me, waiting. I stammered, "I'm as." He relaxed a bit. "Then it's not possible. The child should be fine." The doctor sighed. "Sir, we ran the tests twice. The child is SS." I felt the ground shift beneath me. My heart pounded. I couldn't breathe. Michael kept asking the doctor to check again. But deep inside, I already knew why. Daniel. He was as too. My secret, the one I thought I buried, was finally showing itself through a child's suffering. Michael started changing. He didn't say much, but his eyes said everything. He stopped touching me, stopped praying with me. He would stare at Michelle for hours, then look away as if something didn't add up. He asked one night, "Are you sure about your genotype?" I nodded too quickly. He sighed and said, "Because something's not right, precious." I wanted to tell him the truth, but fear held my tongue. I kept hoping, maybe the child would get better, maybe things would fade. But Michelle didn't get better. Every hospital visit was a reminder of my sin. Every cry from her lips was like a voice whispering, "You did this." I began to lose weight. I couldn't sleep. I'd wake up at night, kneel beside her crib, and beg God to save her, and to forgive me. One night, I held her tiny hand and whispered, "I'm sorry, my baby. I'm so sorry. But tears don't heal the pain you cause." It was a cold night when Michelle's breathing grew faint. Michael rushed her to the hospital. I followed, shaking. The doctors tried everything, but she was gone. I screamed till my throat burned. I clung to her lifeless body, begging her to wake up. Michael stood still, silent, broken. Hours later, he turned to me and said quietly, "You can tell me now. What happened, precious?" I fell to my knees. Every lie, every secret, every sin came pouring out. I told him everything: the calls, the meetings, the nights with Daniel, the pregnancy, the genotype. Everything. He didn't shout. He didn't cry. He just looked at me, with pain I can't describe. Then he said, "You killed our home, precious. Not with your hands, but with your lies." He walked away, leaving me in the cold hospital corridor, a wife without a husband, a mother without a child, a soul without peace. I've lived with this guilt ever since. People see me and think I'm strong, but inside, I'm nothing but regret. If only I had let go of my past. If only I had told the truth. If only I had trusted that love can begin again without needing to go backward. Now, I live with silence as my companion. And when I visit Michelle's grave, I whisper the same words every time. "Forgive me, my child. I loved you, but my sin took you away."